Hi, I'm Hillary Mulick and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am a destination wedding photographer who started my business on the West Coast and moved it to the East Coast, where I now currently reside in North Carolina. Here on my YouTube channel, I share all things for wedding photographers, as well as a peek into my personal life here in the Carolinas. Before I dive into today's content, be sure to check out my free guide in the description, How to Get 10 Storytelling Images with One Pose, which is my secret to keeping my couples relaxed and comfortable while also getting a variety of images throughout their session. So be sure to check it out. Today I'm going to be sharing 3 tips on how to get that fine art look with your digital images. So if you love fine art photography, you love film photography, but maybe you're not ready to invest in film equipment quite yet, you can still get that fine art look with your digital images today by applying these 3 tips. So the first thing you want to do is to use a 50mm or an 85mm on your digital camera. If you go wider than this by shooting with a 35 or even wider, you're going to get a little bit of distortion in the edges of the image, and this does not portray a fine art look. So make sure to shoot the majority of your images with a 50mm or 85mm, and this is going to give you that fine art crop in your images. The second thing you want to do is make sure to shoot wide open. So fine art images are fine art because it really draws your eye into a certain part of the image, because everything else is blurred or not as in focus, which is what makes fine art photography and film photography so romantic and intimate looking. So the best way to do this with digital photography is by shooting with really wide open apertures. So I usually shoot most of my images at 2.0 or even lower. Sometimes when I'm shooting an engagement session, I'll shoot at 1.8, 1.6, 1.4, depending on what I'm photographing. And this is going to give you that beautiful blurred background that looks really romantic, and it's going to really draw your eye into whatever the subject of the image is, and that's going to give you more of that fine art look. The third tip when making your digital images look more fine art is when you are editing, make sure to not over or under expose your images while editing them. And what I mean by this is, in film photography, you see the detail in the brightest parts of the picture, but you also see the detail in the darkest parts of the picture. So when you're editing, you want that airy, beautiful look, but you don't want to lose any of the detail with it. So overexposing and underexposing are not going to give you that fine art film look. So make sure to keep a special eye on the whites and the darks. I love the highlight slider and the shadow slider to make sure that I'm getting that detail in the images without over or underexposing. And those are my 3 tips. They're really simple, but they're going to help you get your digital images to look more fine art. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to download that free guide down in the description if you want to learn more from me, and I'll see you next week.